Moss.
And I'm AJ Finney.
And this is
Hippie,
Not Hippie.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 17 of Hippie, Not Hippie.
Yeah.
Today is a very special episode. We're both excited to have this guest here.
Number 17, my lucky number.
Number 17.
Yeah. I don't believe in a lot of things, but I do have a lucky number.
And
that's my birthday because I'm a Gemini and I love myself.
Both of them. All right. Well, joining us today, a very special guest. Man, she is a legend in the Denver comedy community. She's a nurse. A keynote speaker. You may have seen her on Evening of the Improv.
Nic Mom.
Nic Mom. Also the winner of the Seattle International Comedy Competition. The only woman, the first woman to have won the Boston Comedy Fest and took third place in a South Dakota Comedy Festival. Everyone, Nancy Norton.
Oh, that was a beautiful, beautiful introduction.
Everyone in the studio is going nuts.
I'm pumped up. Yeah. I believe in me.
What a wonderful way to start. Are you usually up this early?
Nope. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So thank you. It's fun to see the sun on that side of the horizon. I loved it. And I've been sitting here. You guys, I woke up at 6:30 in the morning and I turned on your podcast just to go, I should get the vibe, I want to get the vibe. And so you guys have really fucked with my dreams all morning. I fell back asleep and I kept drifting in and out. And then I was dreaming I was on the podcast, but I could not speak. And I was like, I should probably say something. I never said anything. And then all of a sudden we were on the San Francisco, one of these bridges. It wasn't the big Golden Gate Bridge, but it was in San Francisco.
The Bay Bridge, the gray one?
Oh.
It was the gray one that has a curve.
Oh, yeah. And that's my favorite bridge there.
But we were in hammocks. And we were floating in hammocks. And the hammocks were swinging in the wind. And I was just like, whoa, this is a trippy podcast, man. So it's starting off great, don't you think?
Yeah.
No, you brought up the Bay Bridge. I love it. So what I love is that the Bay Bridge is two bridges that run to Treasure Island. That's the island in the middle there.
I don't know.
Is that where Alcatraz is?
No, Alcatraz is farther out. They didn't build two bridges, believe it or not, to the high security prison that's main point of notoriety was that it was on an island.
Right.
But you're like, two bridges, island. What's the
other one's called Escape Bridge.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Escape one and Escape two.
Yeah.
So what would be the significance of the bridge, do you think? I mean, as far as spiritual, I'm very spiritual these days, so I'm into dream interpretation. Anything? I'm feeling like right here, I feel like kind of between your two hearts, maybe. I had this vision of like touching hearts, like just like, you guys, I'm way into, I was opening my heart chakra on the way here, so.
How does one open their heart chakra? Which, man, I'm not going to lie, right out the gate, some real heavy evidence for Nance being Uncle Nance being maybe a little bit of a hippie, but
little lean. I love the fact that you listen to the podcast to get psyched up because I went through both your albums on the way. I was like, I'm getting ready. I'm getting Nance pumped.
Do I have? I didn't even know I had two albums. Wow, I didn't know that. Oh my God. So opening your heart chakra. But first of all, hippie, and this is, on one of my albums probably, if I have to. I really didn't know. But I call myself a hippie crit,
Yeah.
Because I was raised in the Ozarks and it's very conservative. And that part of me is in here. That's very about security, about this world, the earth world, and earth responsibilities. And I will, I'm a vegetarian, who will eat a squirrel if the quinoa runs out. But then lately, and I think at this age too, as you're decomposing while alive,
So I love that you're like at this age because what I realize is your body stops making new stuff at 30. So basically, if you're over 30, you are decomposing while
we're just kind of a compost heap.
Yeah. In fact, I don't even. I cover myself with leaves at night. So
kombucha just makes you a better fertilizer when you die.
Pre-fermented.
Yeah.
Man. Put me on purple flowers. That's all I ask.
I hate to admit how much I would enjoy the smell of being covered by oak leaves to sleep. Just that old smell of like hickory and oak.
Yeah, that's very comforting.
What the fuck is
That's
what? All I can smell is moldy, musty leaves.
That's
all I smell
Ozark.
is mold and must.
That's gonna be our merch.
We're selling leaf.
We sell comforters one leaf at a time.
Yeah.
Collect all 17,000 because that's your lucky number. I threw it in there for you. I love prime numbers.
My lucky number is 17, Nancy, not 17,000.
But she just heightened it. She
that
just
was 17,000. It was 17,000. Okay.
So you were opening your heart chakra on the way here. Say, our listeners, can we do a little heart chakra?
Oh, yeah.
opening?
Are you going to lead us?
Yeah, I'll lead
that would
us.
be great.
So I have been communicating. I'm starting to channel lately, you guys. So it's kind of cool. I've been talking to my spirit guides, and they talk to the other spirit guides. So I got this message, and you can do
I like
it.
the idea that there's like a spirit guide break room where they're all sitting around like eating their sandwiches and stuff, and they're like, so you've been talking to Uncle Nance too?
They're having coffee, and one gets an alarm, and they're like, "Oh, she's up early today."
6:30. What the fuck? Somebody go put a bridge in her dream.
Woo, and there was high wind to our hammocks were going like crazy, and I was holding onto my hammock like this, it started turning into like a sail. But I knew we'd
They're like, Karen, blow. We need wind in the dream.
Randy with an eye, build that bridge to their hearts.
We are building bridges to your heart. Ooh, that's a fun song. Build that bridge to my heart. Okay.
Baby.
Build that bridge to my heart. Okay.
So you have listened to the podcast. You know that we do like to randomly break out into songs.
We do. It happens so poor. Like,
I don't know. I fell asleep so quickly. Nothing against your podcast, but it did help. It did help me. It did help me get back to sleep.
it's very soothing.
It was comforting. It was comforting. Okay.
Oh, like oak leaves in the nose.
Yeah, just piled on top of your face, but you can breathe through them.
But you know what I mean with that. Did you rake leaves as a kid?
Yeah, and we played in the leaves, and they were oak. I mean, in the Ozarks, there's these 400-year-old oak trees. In fact, at my parents' cabin down on Table Rock Lake, which this is real rednecky. Okay, we have no.
Let me shut the door.
I love him, but he's gonna jump on the bed, and that's where the camera is.
Yeah, okay. It's okay to have boundaries.
It's gonna rattle, and someone's like, "That bridge wasn't strong enough to hold up the video."
Whoa, man. This is going to get, that would have been so surreal if the home viewer. Are they at home viewing? Is anybody viewing? It doesn't matter. You know what? We're talking with our spirit guides. But no, down at this cabin, lake cabin. Okay, my dad, all right, seriously, my dad during the Great Depression, that's how old I am. My dad was born in 1927. 1934, his dad died. You know, it was during the Depression.
That was the Great Depression. That was the best one ever. I mean, the depressions that you've had in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, think about
manageable.
This
They're manageable.
is the golden age of depression. All right, this is the renaissance of depression.
You know, there's a part of me jealous because people really got out of the bullshit and had to get back to nature. So my dad went into the woods with a 22 at 8 years old and provided food for his family.
What was the 22-year-old? What was her name?
What was Daniel?
People were different back then. 8-year-olds married 22-year-olds. They went into the woods and they fucking lived, all right?
What are you doing out in
It's the Ozarks, okay?
Hey, bud, what are you doing in the woods? I'm hunting cougars.
Cougars with a 22.
Well, yeah, they only lived till 30 during the Great Depression.
You got to get it on. Get it on while you can. What was Daniel Boone had? His gun was tick liquor. Remember that? You guys are too. Tick liquor. That sounds dirty.
That sounds like something you get thrown out of the strip club for doing.
Oh man. Anyway, he lived on squirrel. That's all my point is. I feed my squirrels. We have an understanding. If the shit goes down, I will eat a squirrel. But the point is, this cabin we had, down at Table Rock Lake.
So you're just. Your prepping is you're fattening up
squirrels.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not hoarding stuff, but you're like, yeah, I feed the squirrels every day so that if I do have to eat them, they're fat as fuck.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
Sorry to interrupt, but I love your.
Now, you are a vegetarian or vegan?
I am a hypocrite. I am a wannabe vegan. I admire vegans. Vegans are my hero. I cheat. Last night I ate a bowl of flaming hot Cheetos with smoked Gouda melted on the top. So I can't claim vegan.
But he loves cheese.
Oh, cheese is so good.
I do well almost all day, but if I stay past midnight and I get the munchies really bad, and I'm like, I'm sorry. My son has flaming hot Cheetos around and Gouda cheese, and I'm like, maybe just once.
Wait, you made flaming hot Cheeto nachos, basically?
Yes, I did. Yeah. And I eat it while watching CBS News. I'm a confused person. But, okay.
Your father in the Ozarks.
Okay, no, I want to talk about this oak tree. This is...
So you're fitting right in.
This is the best.
Yeah.
No, you guys.
There's 3 of us now. Oh, no.
We should have just called this episode Pinball.
Bing, bing, bing. Boom, 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 boom. I want to be the thing that goes like this. Boom, 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 boom. You know, the old pinball machine with that little popper thing. What do you want to be?
A bumper. That's a bumper.
Bump, bump.
I want to be a paddle. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
I want to be a ramp to nowhere.
I want to be...
We're on the ramp to nowhere. Bump, bump. Okay, this oak tree is important, you guys. This is the crux of the whole podcast because but seriously, man. Okay, these white oak in the Ozarks live for like 400 years. So on our old, cabin property is a thong tree. Do you guys know what a thong tree is?
Well, yeah, it's the one that shows your whole butt.
It's the one that rides up on you.
Yeah. You put it between your toes and flip-flop around.
Good guesses.
Does everybody throw their underwear in the tree?
Yes.
Whoa.
It's decorated like this Christmas tree with underpants. So the thong tree is a tree made by the native people.
Wait a minute.
Oh, they
indigenous.
bend it.
Yeah.
To show where water is.
Yes. And it points to the spring on our property. And so there's this beautiful indigenous energy surrounded by ugly old white people. Anyway, I'm here to make amends for that. So thank you for having me.
I like the idea now, especially in the Ozarks, that a newer version of a thong tree would be bent to show you where Party Cove is.
Party Cove, where's the meth?
Yeah. One guy's just like, I don't know. It's in my belly.
Well, it's crazy driving through Wyoming. You can see those trees sometimes from the highway, even like out by the pointing to the water out there.
Man, so this makes me want to open my heart chakra because I do.
How do you open?
Okay, but I do
the
okay,
ritual?
let's do it.
Okay.
Because all right, there's a lot of ways to do it that have nothing to do with physicality. I have found a little shortcut.
Okay.
You may or may not. You may have to put your microphone down for a second, but it's okay.
Do we have to have a thong on?
Yeah, don't you? I was told that this was a thong cast. And I'm wearing, that keeps me alert. All right, take your fingertips
I'm gonna set the mic
of
down
your
here.
dominant hand and put it towards right where you feel your heart. Like
So Nancy's grouping all of her fingers together, like kind of like the 5-fingered heart punch in Kill Bill.
oh, in what?
Kill Bill, like
A Kill Bill. Okay.
yeah, but
So this is a very gentle heart punch. Ooh, that's good. I need to watch Kill
Are we
Bill.
going?
So go
Are we going heart center? Or are we going actual heart?
wherever it
heart
feels.
is in the center.
Well-
Your actual heart is not to the left.
Wherever it feels most energized towards your heart, go there. Like mine is center, but do it where it feels. Then take your opposite hand and make a cup with it. And then touch that to the back of your dominant hand
Okay.
and gather the love and light from the universe. And breathe in. Do you feel it? Thank you, loving universe. Wow, it's always here for you if you ever need it. So that's just a really shortcut to throw some love and light in your heart anytime, anywhere. I mean, it looks weird at the bank or whatever, but I do it anyway.
So do you eventually scoop?
okay.
Because I feel like I'm collecting the love.
Yeah.
And do you have to put it in there?
You gotta eat the love.
Oh, you try it. Hey,
Scoop
I have another tool, but this one, no, for me, it seems to just go right in. Did you feel anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I mean, I love it. And it's a shortcut. So if you're in maybe you can't get there psychologically or spiritually, if you just do, this is a little shortcut.
Yeah, I felt like a spigot inside of a Canadian maple tree.
And also, if you...
maybe you're full of so much light it came out. That's what... God, Finney's like, he's full of love syrup.
That's diabetes.
He's jonesing for insulin.
I do just have to do a disclaimer. If you were driving down the road, you took both your hands off the wheel, you're filling up your heart chakra, put a hand back on the wheel.
Yeah.
What a time to die, though.
Stop. Yeah.
Die full of love, man.
If you're on the bridge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the rainbow bridge, as Kevin would say. Step on it.
Oh, yeah.
Step
We've
on-
talked about the rainbow.
Oh, yes, we have.
For 2 hours.
Oh, man.
No, I haven't heard it yet, so please don't take offense, Kevin. I haven't heard it.
Oh, no, not with Kevin. But, yeah, my rainbow bridges.
Okay. I'm just still getting...
Didn't we talk about this
Yeah,
when
the
I was
rainbow-
leaving your house, Nancy, that, like, we talked about the Rainbow Bridge and how there was the dogs waiting in the pasture,
Yeah.
and I was like, there's going to be like 25 fucking dogs waiting for me, and that's going to be...
You pack. That's your soul. That's your
I'm
spirit.
going to be like, hold on, I can't pet you guys. I'm using both hands to fill up my heart chakra.
You gotta pet him with your elbows, man.
So...
All right, that was fun. All right, does everybody now we're at a baseline.
Now we're bridge.
Yeah.
Right
I'm
in-
glad we put you in the middle. You're just radiating this great energy.
Yeah, she is. She's the bridge. So,
Thank you.
so Nance, you were talking about your dad growing up in the Depression. Was that a story that...
Oh, well, this actually, you could say, so it does kind of go into this hypocrite thing. My dad was very much about security. I do have an IRA that I don't know what it's doing. I never look at it, just like I don't have a scale. I don't get on a scale. I know I've gained weight. I think that my IRA has gone down. I don't know. But he was much about security. He just really wanted you to have food and shelter. Yeah, because it's primary. But then in my later years here, I just have really, I don't know, man. I think I could be happy under a bridge. I really do. If there was
Rainbow Bridge?
Rainbow. I live under the Rainbow Bridge. But my dad lived on Squirrel. And squirrel. Do you say plural squirrel or squirrels?
Squirrels.
They're not squeeze, right?
Squirrel juice?
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Fresh squeeze.
Like, I would say there's 5 squirrels in my backyard.
I got 5 squirrels.
But I
See,
don't
the
know when it
Ozarks,
comes to eating.
You eat squirrel. My dad ate squirrel. And I feel like we have to Google that because in the Ozarks, I'm pretty sure in the Ozark dictionary, squirrel is plural and singular.
Well, and I'm pretty sure that the standard for English language is the Ozarks.
Yeah, that is the
Well, for hillbilly talk, that is for sure.
There's definitely some words where it's like, if you need more clarity, see Cletus, it says.
That's in Scrabble dictionary, man. Everybody wins.
But I feel like everyone that came out of the Depression had that thing where they wanted not only security for themselves, but definitely for, lack of a better term, offspring.
Yeah.
Right? For their children and
so
family.
when I turned vegetarian in 1991, kids, and I was vegetarian for decades, and now I do cheat every now and then with some canned salmon because I feed my dog canned salmon, and I'm like, maybe just a bite. So I'm a hypocrite. I can't claim any lifestyle as far as eating. But for years I was vegetarian, and I would go home, and my dad, bless his heart, first of all, hurt him. I could see the pain when he'd want to put meat on my plate because it was his biggest love language, and I felt
was
bad.
providing.
Yeah, and he would provide every holiday there was a big feast, and I would decline, and I could just feel it, and I felt bad, but I didn't feel bad enough to eat it. Then he got it after about 10 years. He started.
Yeah, if only you would have had a little canned Sam.
I know.
If you're up there now, bud,
I know.
you should have had canned salmon.
It feels like I'm name dropping now when I talk about my buddy Tig, but Tig Notaro mocked me for years. There was one New Year's Eve we were hanging out, and I think it was like 1995 or something. Anyway, Or no, it would have been late 90s. So, because I don't think I met her till, whatever, doesn't matter. I think I met her around 98, 97. But the point is, we were at this New Year's Eve party and I was drunk and I ate a meatball at this party. And she's like, you ate a meatball. Like the same with the canned Sam. Like, what is that? You know, I have these breakthrough moments where I'm just like, fuck it. But I don't know. Maybe it was a weird thing with my family that I just thought, yeah, if I ate the canned Sam there, you know, they'll never, they're gonna force me to eat it. But anyway, all I'm getting at here, my dad would make me, this wasn't even part of the point of it, but my dad would make me what he called hamless beans.
Oh.
Because, you know, there was always a ham hock in the beans. So he would make, and he'd go, you know, and he would eat 3 or 4 bowls of it and go, man, these hamless beans are really good.
Yeah.
It was just funny. He just coined the term hamless beans.
My father-in-law he goes, I'll eat healthy if I don't know it's healthy. Like he would eat, if somebody made it, he would eat it.
Oh, yeah. Or my brother's the same. Like if you put tofu in something and he actually feels betrayed. I mean, he's so fucking mad. If he liked something with tofu and you go, oh, that was tofu. And he's like, you tricked me. You know, he's really mad about it.
Marciana was a vegetarian for years. And then I can't remember what year.
Then she got her hands on a prize can of Sam.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by canned salmon, which is wild caught. Just if you're curious, canned salmon is always wild caught salmon.
I thought never mind.
Wild cock.
Yeah, I thought canned Sam. It's wild cock.
Ride it all night.
Yeah, it's real wild cock. We've already talked about that. Your buddies who was shaped like a tuna can or whatever.
Oh yeah, there was a guy I worked with on the road.
Oh no,
and
he showed it to you?
No, he had this joke he would just say. He was like, yeah, I'm hung like a tuna can. And I was like, what? And he'd go, but family size. Like that's just looks like it's been pummeled into the ground.
Oh man. It's like he fell down with a heart on and it kind of smashed it.
But yeah, she was a vegetarian until she was partying one night and got really hungry, and the only thing open was Jack in the Box, and she had an Impossible cheeseburger, and that's what turned the corner.
The Impossible Whopper. Or was it Impossible Whopper?
No, it's an Impossible cheese. It's just a name of it. It's a regular burger.
Oh, because now there's
now there's
King
the
has the
Impossible.
Impossible Whopper, which is delicious.
And when she tasted the fake meat, she was like, fuck it, I'm going to start eating meat again.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't fake meat. It was real meat.
It was just.
But
this is where it's because now the Impossible meat is.
Yeah,
fake
it was just
meat.
called the Impossible.
So it wasn't fake meat.
It was real.
Well, this is very confusing.
It's another drunk.
Yeah.
It was another drunk meat eating moment.
Back before the Impossible Burger, the Impossible Meat, there was an Impossible Sandwich name. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, Jack in the Box. And then people were like, people love that burger so much. We'll just say we have Impossible sandwiches and trick them into eating not so meat.
I'm so drunk. Oh, that's wrong.
I'm so drunk. It's impossible to eat this burger.
So, a question about the vegetarianism. Was it a dietary thing or was it an environmental thing?
It was neither of those. It was an ethical. It was a empathy thing. I opened my heart to myself, and then I opened my heart to every living thing, and it really trips me up. So somehow I don't have as much compassion for the salmon. We've lost Zach. Zach's yawning. He's like, oh.
Let me defend your salmon eating.
He's about to go into a meat nap from our morning burrito.
Salmon, if they're wild caught in a river, are on their way to die.
By bears.
That's how I justify it. Like bears?
Well,
they're like Nancy's little food bar.
They've gone upstream, right, to spawn, and then their next thing is they're going to die, and they catch them in that window. And the squirrels only live so long. If you get them in the last month of life.
Yeah, if you put them in water, man, they don't go very far. Unless they got those little skis.
I love a skiing squirrel so much. Oh my God, you guys. So I have this weird thing that just happened with rodent. So squirrels in the rodent family, and I have compassion for rodents, even though, like I said, if the quinoa runs out, I'll eat them. But I had a mouse.
Pro-ro.
What?
Pro-ro. You're pro-row.
I'm pro-row. That's I need that. That's gonna be my merch. That's gonna be my bumper sticker. That's gonna sell.
And then it can be pro Roe v. Wade too.
Oh yeah, man.
Pro rodent.
Pro rodent birth control. Yeah, man. Use rodents for birth control. They'll anyway. I had an invasion of mice this year in my house. And I can't kill them. It's okay if my dog does, or I can't have a cat. My son's allergic to cats. My dog's gotten too old to kill mice, so I've been like charged with relocating mice. So I've relocated, and this is true, you guys, 30, and I've counted 30 mice to their forever home. I took them to the drop off, I call it. 6 miles from my house.
It's a cat sanctuary.
This is where you'll live your final days.
She feeds them to the salmon as they're swimming up the river.
You guys, the hawk came to me, all right? The hawk. The hawks need to eat. But so seriously, I built them a little kind of, I call it a fairy house, but it's a bunch of sticks, and then so they can hide. They're by a little creek. They have water. And then in my car right now, as I will drive home once a week, I drop them off some gerbil food. And hey, man. Anyway, I'm just saying I'm insane. I'm insane with compassion.
But you're just fattening them up. You're fattening them up for a hawk.
Yeah.
The same way you're fattening up the squirrels for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the cycle, but I just don't know why I can't personally. I mean, I did tell him, if you run across my face, that's an act of war, and I will get a snap trap. I did. I had the conversation. I'm like, so no mice ran across my face, as far as I know.
Well, it's nice to know what you consider an act of war with mice.
Yeah.
No mice on the face. Act of war. No.
Yeah.
No.
Like that you're like, Sophie's too old to kill mice. That's a young dog's game.
It is, though. We had a dachshund growing up, and he loved his favorite work, because we lived next to this field, and we had these field mice. It was with an old abandoned house. So in the winter, of course, the mice ran into our house. And my dog loved it, because all you had to do was go, mouse in the house. That was his favorite phrase. And you go, mouse in the house. And this dachshund would run the baseboards like crazy and kill a mouse like that, you know?
Wow.
He was handy. So I don't know why I can let a dog do it. I mean, I know that's bad. I'm letting him, like the mob, do my dirty work.
Yeah.
We had a rat family get into our house when AJ and I were roommates.
Yeah, it was
our dogs
bad.
got some of them, and then we were trying to get the rat out from under this thing, and we didn't realize how easy they were to kill.
Oh, okay. No, can we do a timeout on the death of it? I don't know. I don't know if I want to hear the details, because
No, it's not that bad. What happened was we were trying to scurry it out. That's it. It was underneath the thing. And by we, I do mean me. I take full responsibility
You
for
were
this.
trying to scurry it and then got a little...
I had a broom and I was trying to scurry it. And I'm going to be honest, I was very nervous. There were also 4 full-grown men. One was holding a tennis racket. Like, we had no weapons.
Yeah.
And we were just trying to get it out. And
we were defenseless.
Yes. So I just...
We were very afraid of this rat.
You were overzealous.
I hate to say the sound. I put the stick
don't
in.
do it. No.
No, I did this. All right. And then they were like, oh, we're going to count to 3 and you get the rat out and then we're going to scoot it outside. And I went, okay, 1, 2, 3. And then I just started literally just going.
That was you. That was your sound.
That was the monster. I think you were trying for this one.
Yeah, that's the sound.
That
Sorry.
That sounds like the rat. You and the rat were probably screaming at the same time.
I squelched and then I just did a quick like that. And then there was no more running. And I did feel bad. There was empathy for the fact I killed something. And I was just like,
yeah.
Oops.
But
it wasn't intentional.
AJ ate it.
I did eat it. I took on its energy.
There's don't waste it.
I am now half a splinter waiting for my turtles to arrive.
But I had a friend who runs a animal rescue for... Boy, I think there's hundreds of goats and farm animals and chickens and everything, but she can't kill the rats either. Yeah. And she had this bird that was one of her favorite animals that she loved more than anything, and one of the rats killed her fucking bird.
That's war. That's an act of war.
Well, but she still couldn't kill the rats, and the rats live on her farm. But the thing is she has the same rat traps that are rat like poison feeders. A lot of people don't realize those little black boxes you see all over around buildings.
Yeah, it makes
those
me so sad.
Yeah,
but you know what? The thing about those they can't come out of, but some of them.
Yeah, but regular poison is rough because if you have an animal and then it eats the mouse.
Thank you. That's so the hawk. Here's the hawk thing, you guys. Seriously, and this I'm not making this up. And I do have a lot of intersections with hawks. I had this eagle come to my dream yesterday. I'm having a lot of wild intersections with spirit.
well, a hawk is a warrior from a past life. If you see one, that's what the native cultures believe.
No, they are with me. I mean, they're always like going over my car or when I'm walking, and I'm feeling this communing with them. Anyway, this very the 30th mouse. That's hard to say. The 30th mouse. Everybody try and say it.
30th. Okay, I see what you're saying.
30th mouse.
30th mouth. God, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
You
hard.
kind of want to say TH at the end of mouse.
Yeah, 30th mouth.
30th mouth.
I was getting worn out. I really was like a part-time job, going two trips a day to the drop zone and leaving them with the little prayer and everything and the little food and like telling the hawks, here's some snacks if you need them. But the day I was getting tired, I called this guy who said he was a humane mouse mitigator on the internets.
What a brilliant way.
Yeah,
I'm a humane mouse mitigator.
Well,
He's like, I got a big ass in a tube and some food.
And I'm going to stand there and go,
Well, he said he could seal your house. That was the whole goal. So,
Yeah.
but then at the end of the call, he's like, "Really, you just got to poison them. Then they get thirsty and they go outside and die." And I go, "But what about the animals that feed on them?" And then he's like, "Oh, there's not enough poison in them to hurt anything." Well, of course there is. I said, "Well, let me meditate on this," even though I knew he was lying to me. I did walk around the lake right after that, the lake near my house, and I've seen lots of hawks, but had never seen before or since a hawk dive down and grabbed a mouse right in front of me. I have it on video if you guys want to post it. I have it in my phone, and it flew off with this mouse, and I said, "Okay, Spirit, I will not poison the mice because that would poison the hawk." And I came home, did a Google search. Sure enough, they've been killing birds of prey for a long time with this mouse poison. So
and that's done by the hand of man.
that's done
Or
by the hand.
woman, or
Yeah,
person.
woman or non-binary poisoner.
Well, yeah. So she put birth control in those. Seriously.
Wait, what?
So all the rats and all the mice on her.
So she did birth control instead of poisoning them.
Yeah, because so
I
that
love
way,
her.
so if you set out birth control, and you can look it up online, I think you can use just human birth control because rats are so similar. They test most of our medicines on rats.
I love this information. I want to know this person. And what's weird, this is beautiful because I actually have a bunch of packets of birth control pill packets at my house because I'm of an age and Express Scripts kept sending them to me. I mean, months at a time. So I have all these birth control, and I joke in my act like, I this is my merch, right? If you guys need birth control, see me after the show. I've repurposed them. I turn them into tiny advent calendars to give to your Catholic friends. But anyway, I do have some birth control in my garage.
Yeah, her name's Andrea, Broken Shovels Animal Sanctuary here in Denver. It's outside of the city.
Oh my God, let's say it again. Andrea, Broken Shovels Animal Sanctuary.
And she's great. She has hundreds of animals and always needs help. And then they also open the farm up, I think, every Sunday so you can bring your kids and walk through there. But
I
she's
love
great.
this. I'm so glad we had this conversation. Maybe the whole point of this just to hear about that.
But yeah, but if
Not that you're not important.
Oh, no.
But if you meet her, very
I like how you do that and you go, I still have to bridge over here.
We got bridges. We got the bridge.
no, and you'll meet Andrea and she'll be like, "Oh, this is amazing," and then you'll be like, "And then I eat cheese," and she'll be like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
But rats eat cheese.
No.
Oh, this is complicated.
She's an awesome vegan. We were friends, but she's not an overbearing vegan, but she has a lot of good arguments for why.
It's so of course she does because there are countless arguments for it, and that's why I admire the vegans. I was vegan for a year and a half, like read every ingredient, and I really want to do it again because I felt better when I was aligned with my spirit like that. But also, I was the overbearing. It made me a little irritable, like at parties and stuff, like, fuck, why isn't there more vegan food here?
Right.
And I resented people. And so I was like, okay, maybe I just need to go back to eating a little bit of cheese so I don't get too irritable. I don't know.
I remember when we were on the road There was like a few times that you got irritable about restaurants. There was one time, the funniest one to me was we went into this Mexican restaurant and Nancy saw these people walking out with a bunch of like styrofoam containers. And she was like, they use so much styrofoam here, I just can't. And we turned around.
This is over.
That sounds like.
And we walked in, and the lady was like ready to take her order, and she's like, "Can I help you?" And Nancy was like, "No." And you were polite. You were like, "Sorry, we're gonna go somewhere else." And you're like, "There's just too much styrofoam. I fucking can't." You know, like
I do feel
like you're
bad
just like
about
my one order from there is just like that's more styrofoam than I've put out in the world in the last 10 years of my life. I can't do it.
I do have a tiffin in my car. Why didn't I bring in my tiffin? I have this metal Indian lunch pail. You know, my son.
No! And then we got in the car and you did say that you're like, or maybe. Did you go in and ask them if they could put the food in the tiffin and they said no, and then you were like, we're leaving?
I don't remember any of this, but it sounds like something I would do. But, they could you know what I have learned? They can serve it on a plate and then I can shove it into my tiffin. So just a future reference.
So what does a tiffin entail?
It's a metal, it's an Indian lunch pail and it's stacked so you can have like,
it's like a bento box.
Yeah, but it's a bigger, similar to bento box. That's Japanese version. But yeah, the Indian, it's a pail and it's usually either 2 or 3 stacks so that you have compartments for gooey stuff and crispy stuff and maybe your rice stuff, and it keeps things kind of hot.
And then you just flip it over and open it and then you can pull your crispy out, then your gooey and your
or it has one of those kind of old thermos clamp thing. Yeah, you just open it up and there's 3 little containers of different foods. Yeah, tiffin, T-I-F, I think it's 2 Fs, T-I-F-F-I-N. Yeah, anyway, I do keep that in my car. Oh my God, I didn't know that. I didn't remember that at all. That sounds like me, totally. Shit. Some days, and do you have this too? I mean, some days I'm more sensitive. Like it's kind of like we were talking about. If you're drunk especially, you're like, screw it, I'll eat. I don't know.
You kind of just become hungry.
Yeah, your filters are
drunk's
down.
when I'm sensitive. That's the only time I cry.
Is that true? Is that true?
No. That's like the most cowboy thing I've ever heard. I only cry when I'm whiskey drunk in the mountains alone.
Yeah. No, I used to, when I sang country music, I used to have a song that was called I Like to Drink Wild Turkey when I want to tell her how I feel.
There's truth in that song, man. That's some truth serum. That's some wild turkey truth serum right there.
Nancy, you grew up in the Ozarks, right? What was the first time that you remember hearing about a hippie, seeing a hippie? Like, do you what did you think of hippies growing up in the Ozarks?
Man, that's a great question. I think in elementary school I had a poncho. I had a poncho, and I'm trying to think. I feel like I grew up in the '60s, kids, and so the hippies were the thing. I mean, they were new back then. They were the new hippies, and of course, I grew up with this conservative father who vilified people, men with long hair.
He's like, put your poncho on and eat your meat beans.
I think there was a part of me that I had, longer hair, and I would have wanted to think I could be, but I was definitely too nerdy to be a hippie. Man, oh man, yeah. So I thought they were cool, but I thought for sure I knew I wasn't one.
So what were you in high school? Were you like a square?
No, I smoked pot in high school. I mean that I had my friend Greg. So I was a theater, dork. I was a stoner dork. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I was an art theater kid that also partied a little.
I was the president of the art club, and Apparently, I was bossy because the kids called me Sarge. They called
Uncle Nance, also formerly known as Sarge.
Yeah, fuck Uncle Nance. I just want to call you Sarge, man.
I gotta open
You got your canned Sam, Sarge? It's going to be a long road trip.
Oh man, you guys aren't safe. You're not safe. You're not. I gotta open my heart chakra. I was scared. When you're scared, you get controlling. I am a codependent, and my son, he will mock me when I get controlling. He knows I'm scared, so I'm triggered about some childhood trauma. I don't want to get too heavy, too fast, but buckle up, kids. I have a lot of inner terror, so I get controlling when I have my inner terror. Apparently, on field trips. My shit was up. My shit was up. So I'm like, get on the bus, We got to leave this art museum. We got to be home by 3:30. I don't know.
Is this with your son or is this Sarge?
Both.
Is this Mom or Sarge?
Both. Mom Sarge.
Mama Sarge.
Mama Sarge. No, when I get like this, I have over-empowered my son, okay? He is in charge. He is Sarge at my house. But he mocks me to my face, which is good, I think, because it cracks me up and it gets me out of my terror response, which is to control things. So I'll be like, it needs to be this way. And he'll go, is you scared, Mama? and it'll make me laugh. And I'm like, yeah. Or he'll go, if I'm really getting like, I'm not like, I'm really like a force of like, the trash has to be out before dark the night before. And he'll go, it's not my way. And I'm like, shit, man, this kid, I gave him all the information, the keys to the castle. Anyway.
Sarge in charge of our days and our nights.
It all came together when Sarge sang along. You guys, so yeah, art. But Greg Klinkenbeard, okay.
Like,
that's not a real name.
There's a moment if I was like, hey, just protect their name, make something up, that would be the Nic Klinkenbeard.
I love the Klinkenbeards. I hung out at their house. Jeff Klinkenbeard was the
Yeah, you've heard of clinking beers.
Yeah.
Get over here, AJ.
Clinking beards?
Let's clink a little beard.
Ooh, I'm jealous. I don't have a beard. Well, anyway.
Now you do.
I want
testosterone.
I do take testosterone.
Me too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you take a shot or a pill?
I'm on
Booty pops it.
I'm boofing testes. So I'm on a thing.
Do you have a man that installs it?
Yeah. Zip. I'm on a thing called Tesra Plus, which is an herbal supplement. I take 2 pills a day because my testosterone came back low. And then I'm also on a Mitacor, which is like another thing. And then, gosh, I can't remember the other. It's I can't remember. I'm on another precursor.
Does it make your testicles just go into overdrive? Like, we got to make more testosterone.
Not really. I did when I first started taking it. I did notice a little ragey the
way you were doing
week.
that, I was like, does it make your does it make your balls dance?
Are you ready? Left, right. Yeah, they're working out. Up, down.
Lefty, righty, lefty.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Now
I thought I felt the floor vibrating, and you weren't tapping your toe the other week. So was your
Just
were your
bouncing.
jinglies a jangling over there?
The jingle, jingle.
So Mr. McClackybeard.
Oh yeah, all I was gonna say is he would hook me up with the joints. He would, because I never bought it. I wasn't cool enough to go buy it. But Greg, who I had a crush on, who was gay. So that says something about my non-binary.
Typical story.
Well, yeah, my tomboy. Like back in the day, we called us tomboys. Now I would be non-binary. But I mean, I am non-binary. I'm a she/they. Is just if you need to use pronouns. She is fine. They is also fine, although grammatically fucks with my mind. I will say I wasn't cool enough to buy a bag of pot, but I would buy joints from Greg, and he would roll them in these really hot pink papers that were so cute. And then we would walk around the neighborhood, smoke pot, and then have a nice laugh.
Nice.
Did you feel at that point in time, like, because the technical definition of hippie is someone who's a part of a counterculture. Would you say that at that time you were a part of a counterculture? And if not, what would you say was the first time in your life when you felt like you were a part of a counterculture?
Oh, I love this. I am a wannabe anything. I don't feel like I've ever been a part of any culture. I'm a kind of an outlier in every group. Like in comedy, I feel a bit like, yeah, I'm sort of inside, but sort of outside. On the girls' basketball team, I'm not full on lesbian. I was like half in, half out. I'm bisexual. I mean, I'm so much not in anything. And then I was
didn't you work for animal rights a lot?
Yes.
Too, though?
So I was in. So this is where I know I can easily get under. I could have been under a spell of a cult because I was a Republican as a kid. So keep in mind, I was ignorant. I didn't really pay attention. I was busy doing other stuff.
Well, it was a sin to be a Democrat in the Ozarks.
It was, and I was
It's a pretty
brainwashed.
red state.
I had to, and then I got to Boulder. When I moved to Boulder,
What year was that?
91, 1991. And at that point, I hadn't come out yet. But then I came out in 92, kissed a girl in 92, and it was like,
Kissed a girl and I liked it.
I did.
The taste
I
of
liked it.
cherry chipstick.
It was really, can I just say?
Tell us about
Yeah.
the first time you kissed a girl, Nancy.
Yeah.
It seems like I decided like you go to a fond memory place.
Oh, it was so heavenly. And, here's the thing. I had a lot of self-hate about my gender because, in a patriarchy, you're taught to be, you're second class.
No, we're told we're the best. Number one. Number one.
I'm so jealous. I was so jealous. I just, now I get it. Now I really embrace all the gifts that came with this incarnation. However, I was a man in I do past life regression, so I was a man in my most recent one. And it was really a weird trip, man, to come into as a girl in this boys' world. But, so I really kind of hated that. Anyway, here's the deal. I was so curious, and I was doing a gig in Dallas at the Funny Bone.
Wait, you kissed a girl in Texas?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
And she was a Republican.
Yeah.
She
Well,
still
God,
is.
are you like, so, how about that bush?
Icebreakers at the lesbian bar.
I've got a bush conflict for you.
Bush. Yeah.
Well, so I'd fallen in love with the headliner who was a lesbian. I'm not going to say her name, but she talked like this, and she was from Chicago. Anyway, I was in love with her already. I was like, wow, I'm in love with her talent, really. She's so talented, brilliant writer, brilliant comedian. And I was like, And then I was talking to her after the show going, I'm so curious about kissing a woman. I was trying.
But you were just open about it.
I was very open about it.
Yeah.
But then later I found out she said, I didn't want to be your experiment. And then we ended up dating for a year. But anyway, the point is, before that though, my friend Greg Klinkenbeard lives in Dallas, right? He moved.
You're like, I got a
Greg.
gig, but I'm wondering if you got any of those red joints.
Hot pink. They were hot pink, man. Greg, I guess he's my hookup because he's like, hey, go to Sue Ellen's. It's like this very nice lesbian bar where all the executive lesbians hang out. Kind of the, it was a nice
Cream
bar.
of the crop.
Yeah, the top shelf lesbos. And so we got there, and sure enough,
What are the tiers of lesbian?
I love how it's like, I don't want to start bottom barrel. Like, I'm not cracking a Coors banquet.
well, no, it's really
No,
okay. But
Yeah.
seriously though, no, they're like
The
here in
Pabst
Denver.
Blue Ribbon of lesbians. I'll have the champagne of lesbians if you.
I mean, it really is about like, are you going for the country lesbian? Are you going for the city lesbian, the country mouse or city mouse? I mean, that's the thing.
You said mouse or mouth,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a nice city mouse.
city.
but I wanted the country.
Oh, the way you said country, I get it. I got it. I got what word you got in there.
I'm sorry.
This is a callback to our last episode. This is
Yeah.
the song we were singing.
Yeah.
Were you like, my son one time, he goes, Mom, you can cuss inside of words. And he goes, obituary.
Man, kids are real like code crackers.
Yeah, they are. So we went to Sue Ellen's, which was the city mouse lesbian, the kind of, not the country mouse. Like Miss C's we have in Denver. I think it's still there. Miss C's is kind of you go boot scooting with some lesbians out there. Anyway, lesbuns, you got to call them when you go to the country mouses. Yeah. Lesbuns. And then these were anyway. So it's kind of a nice city lesbian bar, and sure enough, there was this woman there.
Like, don't let them know I'm from the Ozarks.
Yeah.
I tried. I
should have traded my flannel for a pantsuit.
I was wearing a vest, as I recall.
Solid.
I was wearing a vest. If you check out my Evening at the Improv episode, where I'm very proud, the first woman to come out. I don't know if I was the first on that show, but I came out before Ellen, before Rosie. I was really proud of it because God asked me to. My higher power said, you need to come out because there's a girl in Kansas about to kill herself for being a lesbian. So I drop in real heavy, but I'm just telling you, I actually think that was a calling to do that. And at the end of that show, Marsha Warfield, who is a beautiful black lesbian, she held up my hand like I had just won a boxing match, and she was like, Nancy Norton, and went like this, like, wow, she just came out on TV. And also, big sweat ring right here. Big sweat ring under my arm. But I was so nervous. But anyway, that's a whole nother story.
The vest heats up the core.
Yeah.
But lets the pitties breathe.
Yeah.
My bra rode up when I did that.
But they drool real bad. Just
Anyway, so I was at this lesbian bar.
Yeah, that's pretty, that's amazing. I mean, so you did that in 90...
I think it was 94.
And national television, too.
Yeah, A&E's Evening at the Improv. Well, I auditioned with all these great Denver headliners that some of them that are still around, like Rick Kearns and Troy Baxley and all these people that were much more evolved and funnier than me in a lot of ways. But I'll tell you what, no one's more in the moment than Nancy Norton. When I drop in, when I get in the moment, I'm in the moment, which I really turn it over to the muses. I don't take credit for it. I really just get out of the way. But that show was horrible because it was Vail and people were drunk, and it was,
the audition show.
You guys, the audition show was at Vail at a ski.
Okay.
He was doing a working vacation. Bud Friedman, he was up there, and he thought, he auditioned a bunch of us from Comedy Works, and I wasn't headlining at all then. I was, I'd been doing touring for just like 3 years maybe. But anyway, yeah.
But you had not, when you did your audition, you didn't audition that you were coming out.
I wasn't going to come out in my audition.
Okay.
In fact, because my ex-girlfriend who talks like
you can only do it once.
That's right.
Yeah, you can't walk out the door and go, hold on, I'd like to do this on another show.
Yeah. Anyway, it was weird because I just watched all these great comedians that were getting nothing from this drunk ski audience. Have you played ski towns?
Yeah.
They can be a bit challenging if people are drinking after skiing. They're kind of tired.
And loaded.
And they don't have the oxygen.
They don't have that elevation drunk.
Yeah, they don't have it. And so you're like, I was watching them get like not what they deserve. So I developed what they call the fuck it attitude. And I was like, I'm just going to just have fun. And I ended up riffing with Bud Friedman, who's got the same name as my dad, Bud Norton. So I was like, Bud. And I was talking to Bud with the monocle. I go, you're just back there judging me, aren't you? And I was just...
Mr. Peanut.
I wish I'd thought of that, but I did whatever I did, and then I did my some lesbian jokes like I was married 11 years, very nice man, but he would not wear the Jodie Foster mask. Anyway, out of those comics, I was the only one that got invited to come tape the show, so it was kind of a cool thing. But then I said to him, he goes, "Come tape the show," and I'm like, "Well, can I say lesbian on TV?" Like I didn't even know you could do that. Yeah. And he said, "Yeah, just don't say fuck."
Yeah. You just can't say that you're fucking a lesbian.
Well,
yeah, right?
And that's one of the things, because a lot of people want to talk to me about how it must be so hard to be a comedian because I can't say anything anymore. And I'm always like, bullshit, you can say so much more now than you used to be able to say. There's more availability to talk about things now than there ever has been. And I say, 30 years ago, you couldn't even say you were fucking gay.
You couldn't.
Yeah.
No, and I did so many corporate gigs in the closet, but then I was on a mission. I was out at every single show, like
for the janitors, or
yeah,
mop.
But that
I'm a hack.
Just you're self-aware.
Yeah.
Okay, heart
I will
chakra.
say before we move on with that, when you were talking about comics that complain about not being able to say anything, I will say this, and I'm curious about your opinion on this. When it comes to open mics or anything, I firmly believe that someone can say whatever they want on stage, but you have to be accountable once you walk off that stage for what you have said.
That's right. You have to live with it and take the natural consequences. Right? I saw somebody, and I forget who it was. I just saw this on Facebook yesterday. Somebody,
Derek Sheen,
wrote.
I think.
I think it was Derek Sheen.
We need to change it to consequences.
Yeah, change it to consequences. That makes more sense than cancel consequences.
Right.
And live with it. You know, if you're going to. So I was out in the 90s. So this would have been early 90s. And I was doing tribble runs and all
the horrid tribble runs.
Well,
Idaho Falls?
You know what, though? I actually had good time on his gigs. I mean, I don't want to brag, but I can make them work, you know?
Yeah.
And I was opening, which is the hardest spot on those runs. You have to do that first. Not only do you have to go up and be like, hey, everybody, time for comedy, settle down. You know, like you have to be the person that gets them settled, that tells them the show's about to start. And then you have to do 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was a workout, man. But I would drink a little bit to get on their level. I have to be honest, because I cheated with alcohol. Because once if I have a cocktail, then I don't resent them so much for not getting. And I did learn to work bar jokes, or not jokes, but bar bits and a lot of probably sexual content. So I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I figured out how to make it work.
And I did those tribble runs a lot when he was still doing them, and it wasn't necessarily the gigs that were bad. I mean, Idaho Falls, I think, still was. They were known and enjoyed the fact that they were one of the worst shows in the world.
Yeah.
But it wasn't always just the show, because it was always the travel. Like you would go, I have to go to bed immediately because if I sleep, then I'm not going to make it to Oregon the next day.
Yeah, there's 6 to 8 hours between the gigs. Yeah, you're right. Those are long stretches. And then you're in this little town. I figured out certain ways to eat. Like back then I was definitely vegetarian, and I would but I wasn't vegan. I would eat like Taco Bell or whatever. Mexican restaurants is kind of my
Can Sam.
And you're like,
you're not gonna let me forget it. Damn it.
And you're like, I'm not gonna ask if these are meatless beans or not.
Yeah.
You're right. No, you're right. I did. I lied to myself about the lard.
Yeah.
I lied. I did. I lied to myself. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Don't ask. Don't tell about the lard.
Yeah.
And it was during Don't Ask, Don't Tell. But all I'm saying is I was I was on a mission to like come out. I was like, they need to meet the lesbian next door. So I would do 15 minutes, and then I'd get them, and then I'd do that little joke about, hey, I was married for 11 years to a very nice man, but he would not wear the Jodie Foster mask. And then I would kind of let them process that, and I'd say, hey, half the people are disturbed, the other half are trying to picture me with their wives.
Yeah.
And back then, I was in my 30s. I had kind of long hair. I'm still got the John Wayne tomboy face, but, nice ass. So people were sort of like, you know what I mean? I could sort of work my whatever. I could play both sides of the street a little bit. So I would kind of I would play with the sexual energy with it a little bit. I don't know what I'm trying to say there.
The first time I saw you, like 10 years ago at Sushi Hire, 9 years ago, I felt like you were still like you were a lot more sexual in your act than when I saw you like a few years later.
Yeah.
Am I right, maybe? Or
probably. I just
feel like your crowd work was much more like kind of like that. Like you did a ton of crowd work where you were like, and yeah.
Yeah, and I have to admit,
and you murdered. You fucking killed so hard. I remember watching you, and I was just like, because I had never seen you before, and I was like, who the fuck is this person? She's fucking murdering.
Man, but I have to say, I think a lot of times I don't have a sexual outlet, so that is my sexual outlet, and I always think of it like this is like a one night stand, Yeah. And I can play like that and move on. And back in the 30s, though, I have to admit, I would. It was my sexual outlet.
Back in the 1930s?
The Great Depression.
The Great Depression, when I was eating squirrel and picking up chicks. Well, I don't know. I went down. We never finished the kiss the girl thing, but doesn't matter. I don't know. All I'm saying is, dude, now I've retired from lesbianism. I was fired. It's a long story. We don't need to go into it. And I did kiss a girl in 1992. And what it did for me, and I still love, obviously, I love everybody, but I love women. But man, I will tell you, when that feeling is different than a man's mouth. I don't know if you've experimented yourselves. But
I have kissed a girl.
Yeah. Have you kissed a man? Is that too personal?
No. Okay. God damn it. So I'm going to be vulnerable. Yep. And honest. What type of kiss are we talking about here that is important?
Any kind where you felt a man's mouth.
Yeah.
on
My
yours.
grandpa used to kiss me right on the mouth. Was that? Do
Yeah.
you remember
With
that when
tongue?
older?
Yeah.
No. No. But I mean, that was just something. But
But
also.
you could probably feel whiskers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there was I'm not going to mention his name, but when I was younger, I was growing up in like the mid 90s in high school, drinking, things like that. And I had a friend, and we were just like, it was out that like Kurt Cobain was kind of experimental at bisexual. And I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here. And so we just got hammered, and it happened one time at the pool. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't get it, but
You
I did it.
experienced it, and that's cool. I want to just say how much I admire you for not only just sharing that, because I was just talking to this man that's courting me right now, and he told me about his one homosexual experience, and I don't,
Oh, I didn't say I only had one. I did no. Not just joking.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, if you had
I was
several,
just looking for the
but
joke.
No, I love it. No, but I'm just saying, I don't trust you if you say you're heterosexual, but you've never. Come on, if you haven't at least tried it, do you need to take?
No. I'm good. I'm just
All right,
I'm
all
fine.
right. What time is it? How we doing?
We're good.
We got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. In closing. Oh no, I'm just saying I really admire it. And I think that it's like, hey, you were open-minded. You're like, let me just see. You're like, yeah, it didn't do it for me.
No, yeah,
And
we were also soft-souled on psychedelics. There was a pool. I mean, everything was perfect.
Cool. I always
Moonlight.
say, dude, I always say if I could do it with anyone, if the lighting was right.
Right.
Yeah, I've kissed a man as well, and I don't like this.
The stubble.
Yeah, I don't like the stubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
I
kind of
don't
rough.
like that. I don't like hair.
I can't say that.
And even though I'm covered in a lot of it, it's like, and I don't.
Well, you
so
don't- you
I don't
don't-
mind hair on a bush, but I'm like a big. I don't know. I just don't like a lot of hair.
I'm also on a face, yes, but I even get torn sometimes. Like if I'm being 100% honest, like I get torn sometimes with women with armpit hair. Like I found myself where like there's something I don't know what it is, but I'm just trying to be vulnerable in this moment.
Well, tell me, do you like it or you don't like it?
No. I lean more towards liking it.
Yeah, I had a boyfriend that really liked that too. Like,
I mean, I can do both. I'm not, but if I had to pick one or the other, sometimes. I mean, I have a.
Well, you're a naturalist. Maybe you're more natural.
I prefer a hairy pussy, but I am not a fan of
hairy legs.
pit leg hair. Doesn't really bother me unless it's like curly and thick.
Yeah.
Like if it's I don't know,
it's
something.
prickly.
Yeah, I think I'm maybe traumatized. I have a friend with very thick back hair that I'm still a good friend, and he's like,
Oh,
"Will you put
I
on
was like,
this?"
what is wrong?
He's
What's
like,
up
"Will
with
you
that
put
lady?
on the sunscreen?" And I'm like, "Sure."
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about a
that's-
thickness of hair and other parts
Yeah.
of the body that
Yeah.
makes me think of my buddy Coco.
Yeah, it sounds like you were lubing up Uncle Sal.
Yeah.
So you have to do a little trauma therapy on
Yeah.
that, maybe.
My buddy Jason was a very hairy man. We called him Coco because he would walk around the house with his shirt off with his kitty, and he's just like covered in hair. and we'd be like, "Oh, Coco love kitty,"
Yeah.
Sweaty man with cat hair all over him. I'm more about like if it smells good, I'm all right with any of it. I'm very sensitive. I'm very sensitive to smells. So I've had
Okay.
to
what's-
break up with people over certain like
But what
if they
is
have
a-
gingivitis, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
it's hard for me. But I feel bad if people out there, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings that has gingivitis. I'm just very sensitive to smells. Like, and that's actually my therapist says a trauma response. That
Yeah.
I'm hyper aware.
Because
Here comes the can Sam.
Well, no, we have some very particular smell questions here on Hippie Not Hippie. That
we do.
All right, do you need a timeout to now? Is it time?
no, not
No,
really.
go ahead and finish your thought, and then
Yeah.
I have a few smell questions
Okay.
for you, and I think that might be the perfect place for us to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
this has been
I will
great. But I do need to finish the one thought about.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I just not. This isn't about smells or anything. It's just about kissing a woman, the wonderful. I mean, I can't tell you. And then making love with her. And this woman had never had an orgasm with any other person. And it's not because of my skills. It was because my whole heart was in it.
Humble brag.
No, but seriously, I didn't do anything but be present. I mean, but I was fully present. And
Yeah.
I was so, like, everything was opening up in me, like, wow, where have I been? and she had an orgasm on my ribs, on my side.
I don't even know what you're talking about, but I am.
We were sweaty. It was Texas, and it was slippery and sweaty.
Rib riding?
She rib rode me, man.
Yeah.
And I've never had that.
I've never heard of a side saddle rib ride.
I've never had it before or since.
Yeah, that's a special time.
No, you guys, it was magical. I mean,
That's
it was
not a
beautiful.
scissor. What is
No.
that?
That's a side saddle
scissor.
rib ride.
Side scissor.
Side scissor. Yeah.
It was a side scissor, and
That's
luckily,
a slab of
and
rib.
I think the fact that I'm thin maybe helped, you know.
Oh, yeah, you gotta
because
get that bone.
ribbed for her pleasure.
You're ribbed for her pleasure.
Oh my God.
That's your.
That's my merch.
Yeah, you need to write that down. That's a new bet for sure, dude. Ribbed.
It's ribbed for her pleasure.
Oh my God.
For real though, you guys try it, and it was magical. And it was magical. And then we spent 3 days together just making love. And I fell in love with myself a little bit because of the velvety smoothness inside of her. And I was like, oh my God, I feel this good. Like it hit me. I expanded exponentially because it's like I really did not like myself as a woman. And all of a sudden I fell in love with myself. And I was like, I feel this good.
You fell in love with yourself by falling in love with another woman.
Yeah, like I saw my value. I saw how beautiful. I used to feel sorry for men because they had to be with women. I really did because I thought men were so great. And then I'm like, wait a minute, women are. And then being with a woman, I didn't know how sacred it was and how, you know the feeling. You guys, when the woman is having an orgasm, it's just such a sacred. It's like the space-time continuum opens up there, I feel.
I'm not going to lie, and I'll bring this up in the next podcast, but tonight I'm going to ask my wife to try the old rib saddle. I just want to see what that's... I feel like I got it. I feel like I got a little rib going. Yeah.
And especially if you open your heart chakras before. You do the heart chakra, and then that, I'm telling you guys, it's tantric.
My favorite thing about what just happened is when you said, I felt the velvety smoothness inside of her. AJ and I looked at each other with a longing in our eyes, like we will never feel anything that deep ever in our lives. Like we both made eye contact when you said that.
Yeah, because it was like velvety?
We'll never know. We'll never feel that good ever. I feel like we just looked at each other.
Because there's a moment every time you, as a man, anytime I've ever been with a woman, I have the time where I'm just like, don't make it over too soon.
Yeah, so you're not savoring the velvety
You're like,
smoothness.
it's not velvety.
You gotta savor it.
No.
All right.
I don't know. Should we just hug it out and call it?
Well, I do want to, because you said you're sensitive about the smells.
Oh no, yes. So you were talking about sensitive smells. I go back and forth sometimes because it's hard to say what smell is good. Because some people like BO is bad, but every now and again,
so
I will smell and I'm like, there's pheromones in there.
Oh yeah.
So,
that's for real.
Hippie smells. Yes or no? Patchouli.
No.
Yes.
Frankincense.
Well, I'm not sure I know what that smells like.
It smells like myrrh.
Let's
Jesus.
just say.
Does it smell like Jesus?
How about incense?
Yeah, I used to I am so low sense now, I can't walk down the laundry aisle. I used to burn sandalwood incense in 6th grade.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, man.
Palo
headaches?
Santo?
Huh?
Palo Santo wood?
Palo Santo wood.
I don't think
Smells
she
like
knows.
burnt hair to me.
I can't do smells now.
Sage?
I get everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Occasional lavender is all right.
Okay.
But
Lavender is one of the ones I'm okay with.
But I threw up on ayahuasca during this ceremony where they just had thrown lavender on the fire and it.
Oh, because it's supposed to relax you.
So
well,
now,
but you can throw up on ayahuasca.
It just now I associate it.
You can purge a
little bit.
lot on ayahuasca.
You know how it is if you throw up with
Yeah.
some smell. It's like,
Go town.
so I kind of ruined lavender.
Windsor.
Yeah.
Handles of Windsor. 1.75 bottles of Windsor.
Yeah.
Ooh.
How do you?
I can't do most smell. I like low smells. I like very subtle, and I do like smelling skin and pheromones. I think, but
How do you feel about crystals?
oh yeah, I don't have any right now, but amethyst is. I do have these rainbow things in my windows that throw rainbows all over my house, but I don't think it's.
You're like, I don't have any right now.
It seems like you're in a reform, and you're like, I'm not supposed.
I'm out. I did all my crystals before I left this morning.
Did my people not talk to you about not talking about crystals?
What about you guys? You do crystals? I don't have any right now. I used to think I think I used to have a pendant that had an amethyst thing.
I mean, yeah,
I have rocks.
I got this third-eye pine cone that I keep on.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, go for it.
Ooh, that's so cool. That's a pine cone?
Yeah, I got that on a trade at a festival.
Like a petrified pine cone?
Yeah, they cut it in half. You can see where it splits.
I love this.
Yeah.
They don't petrify it, though. They just
it's
polish it.
Oh, it's not from a petrified forest?
Well, no, it's a pine cone that they cut in half, and then they'll
polish and
shellac it with a stone.
Okay, that's cool. I love it.
Why do I know this much about how to make these?
Because your algorithm is messed up since we started the podcast. That means I'm getting in you.
We're going to get nothing but oak leaf. You're going to get oak leaf ads now.
Yeah.
So
I do have some petrified wood. You do with that what you will.
Yeah.
All right. So Nancy, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have anything coming up that you'd like to plug? Check out Nancy's podcast, Traumedy.
Traumedy. I hope I get to keep that name because I've been talking about it for 2 years, and now there's 3 other podcasts called Traumedy. So I don't know. I've got to see what I can register, but it'll be Traumedy. I think it will be Traumedy, Tromedy, coping with trauma with comedy. And we did that today, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you for helping me express some.
And Nancy, where can they find you? Like as far as on the socials?
Nancy Norton. And, I'm using Uncle Nance. I need to start my Instagram Uncle Nance so I can put my sexual content on there because I do a lot of corporate keynotes. So I try. It's weird,
You could get an OnlyFans.
I could get an OnlyFans.
An only Nance.
An only Nance.
It's all anal crystal orgasms. Yeah. So NancyNorton.tv like television.
Yeah.
I get Southern all of a sudden. .tv like television. .tv. It's NancyNorton.tv. Find me on the IG. And that's my website, NancyNorton.tv. And TikTok. I'm on the TikTok. And I'm a nurse. I'm a former nurse. So nurses do, I do some nurse jokes usually, but it's okay. We can't cover everything.
Well, and on the subject of is Nancy Norton a hippie? On 1, 3, 2, 1, hippie.
Whoa!
Well, we have our first agreement on the podcast, but Nancy, I 100%. Other than
hippie
the smell things, but
the hippie crit.
Your energy and your decision to constantly move against the culture, like you're kind of in several counterculture movements.
Yeah,
you're radiating a light.
I'm outside of everything. Well, thank you. I do like to channel the light. So
yeah,
I'm glad you can.
You're like Ram Dass.
I can
without a beard.
I'm like, Ram Dass without a beard. I'm Ram Dass without a beard. Baby Ram Dass. I wanted to share this one Ram Dass quote for you particularly. But this sticks with me every morning when I wake up. If I wake up in that shame spiral and feel like I'm not doing enough, he always said, are you connecting with the manifested? Are you identifying with the manifested, that which has already been manifested, which is victim energy? Or are you connecting with the manifester, which sounds kind of Ozark, manifester? But are you connecting, are you identifying as the creator? So as soon as I toggle over to I am one with the creator, and what are we creating today?
Yeah.
So that helps me get out of that dense, oh my God, I haven't done enough and I don't have enough likes on my Instagram. I haven't posted enough videos today, and whatever that is. Just identify with the creator. We are all one. We are all part of the one creator. Peace and love.
All right.
That's all I needed to get that out there.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you, Nancy. Thanks for coming through, and it's always great hanging.
Thanks.
So,
let's go get some styrofoam.
Yeah. Come follow, subscribe, go check out Nancy. If you're a big, rich corporate CEO right now, book her for a fucking keynote, you dumbass.
Yeah.
The power of humor. That's my talk. The power of humor. There's power in it.
Thank you so much for listening to Hippie Not Hippie. Get on the motherfucking
Boss.
Well, I met you down around Mexico. You were reading your book and your head did blow. You were talking funny.